Welcome back to another episode of Limitless MD. I'm your host, Vikram Raya, and today I got Mr. Jeremy Delk. Jeremy is a serial entrepreneur. He's disrupted numerous industries. The guy is a walking, Fortune 500 magazine, basically. His company's been listed not on the Inc. 5000, but the Inc. 500. He's at several companies that are fast growing. He's in real estate development. He's in healthcare. And we're going to learn a lot, talk about adversity. We're going to talk about failure. We're talking about marketing, entrepreneurship, biohacking. So I'm ready to jump right into it. Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
What if you could reclaim hours of free time each week, create legacy building wealth, and devote more energy to your passion projects without giving up on your career as a life-saving MD? My name is Vikram Raya, functional cardiologist, high performance coach, and real estate expert. And I'm here to give you the tools, strategies, and solutions you need to transform your life so you can unlock your limitless potential and achieve greatness, all the while freeing up your precious time. Welcome to Limitless MD. Let's dive in. Were you always going to be like Richard Branson's cousin or something? How did this happen?
It's funny. Funny you mentioned Branson. I'm going back down to his island in November for his party every year.
Oh, nice.
I think the answer is no. I'm a small town kid from Nowheresville, Kentucky, and always had this dream or vision to kind of want to go and do more, see more, be more, and it's been a pretty cool ride so far. 42 years in.
When did you know that you made it? What would you say is what age did you feel like, man, I figured this thing out?
That's a great question. And I think it's a good question. I think I can give several answers. I think when I really figured out was probably a couple years ago. I've just finished the painstaking, and I don't recommend this to anybody, task of therapeutically writing a memoir that comes out in a couple weeks. And
what's it called?
It's called Without a Plan, a memoir of unbound action and failing my way to success. And it started out very much as a business book, and it quickly just grabbed legs and moved much more into the other side of it. And I think I'm so proud of it, even though now that's done and now I just need to get out and kind of get it in the hands of folks. But because I tell both sides, like you mentioned, Inc. 500, all this stuff, that's all bullshit, man. Right. I mean, it's that's like your CV, right? You're cardiologist, you background, that's what you do, but it's more of what took you to get there, and the failures and the adversity and all those pieces, that there's lessons. And I also really kind of shared, a lot of the personal stuff in my life that behind the scenes, especially as an entrepreneur sometimes. I mean, I've got, hundreds of employees, all those things. It's a lonely place to be, right? Sometimes, because you've got to be stoic and, even though you could be scared, you got to be strong for your team. But to answer your question, through that process, and, a lot of therapy and what have you, probably 2 years ago, I had all the stuff, but I don't, probably 3 or 4 years. I got happy 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
That's a big difference when you made it and when you're happy. That's a big difference.
Oh, because you go through, right? Everyone's like, oh, your money and this. And I tried so hard of, buying the cars, which I have, cars and watches and all those things. And they're a lot of fun, but I found that I was doing a lot of that stuff just to kind of fill a void. And you got to kind of really figure out what your why is. And I think that's what I talk about in the book. And I think that's what all your listeners should do. I know, you have a lot of physicians listening, and it's investing in money, but really, if you're not passionate about your life, relationships, business, all that, what's it for, right? I mean, we can compare how many zeros we have in each other's bank account and all those things, but it doesn't really matter unless you're truly happy with what you're doing, what you love, and what you're with yourself. So for me, that's when I brought it all together. So now I'm just having fun. I still do deals. I'm buying companies, I'm selling companies, but I'm just having fun. And that's when I think I've made it.
Nice. I love that. So there was a realization where you're trying to not fill the void, but you're like, this is what successful people are supposed to do, buy things, do things. But how did you go from that to, damn, I love my life?
Yeah, well, I think it starts with, and this is actually, it's good. We had, I love your thing, like real estate, MD. I love the background. So I want to tell a bit of a backstory. small town kid, grew up, I made some money day trading, took 30 grand, took it to 2 million, lost that in 4 days when I was like 19 years old. But that threw me into this career in Wall Street and investing. And I went out on my own and started my own little VC fund called Delk Enterprises, which was, still now 21 years in the making.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah. So I'm very proud of that. But I started living that VC PE type of lifestyle, which was like breakfast, bad lunch, huge steak dinner, a few bourbons bought, and just on the road, not exercising, not dieting at all. And, basically quickly found myself at a 315, 320 pound, weight limit. And I wasn't like a strong man. It wasn't good. Right? Like it was bad.
You want the Rock.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't the Rock. Exactly. It wasn't the good weight. Right. And, so that's the life I was going. And I'd made investment in an animal health business. So I was in regenerative medicine. So I knew about cell therapy and,
How old were you at this point?
I was 20. No, I was 31. 31.
Okay. Just want to come into your own a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. 31, 32 is when we were really kind of in the heyday. It started at 29, but I started learning medicine and, a little bit about just, bioactive peptides and macrophages. And I didn't want to learn this, but I was the CEO and the primary investor. So I needed to learn about it. We took that company public and then private and did really well. Then a buddy of mine from Australia said, "Hey, let's, I'm killing it in this pharmacy space. You should do it in the US with me." I'm like, dude, seems really highly regulated. I don't know. And, reluctantly, after probably a year of back and forth, he, got me into it and we joined up. You would know A4M, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So we went to our first A4M conference and I'm now the CEO of Tailor-Made Compounding. And I see all of these physicians walking by. I'm in my mid 30s. I'm 36, 37 at the time. And they're all walking by and they're 50, 60, 70 years old. And they look remarkable. And you've been to these conferences, so you're good looking guys. Well, I mean, it's not like they're like fat, fake and plasticky. Like they're healthy, good skin tone and in shape. And I'm weighing 315 pounds, the CEO of a fucking company.
Oh, man.
Like, it's like I don't have a hair loss company, right? So it doesn't jive. So I'm like, whoa, something's wrong here. And, the business was going really well, but like, I kind of felt like, the shoemaker without shoes, like this isn't like something doesn't jive. So I had my own healthcare journey. And that's why I'm so passionate and still am passionate about healthcare, exiting for a number of reasons. But I was passionate because first I was excited, like, hey, well, let's have my own healthcare journey and find out. I was, took a great doctor friend of mine. He's still a friend today, Beverly Hills. Looked at my labs, my C-reactive protein level was like, basically you're dead. I mean, it's inflammation.
Oh my God.
I was just so bad. Cholesterol, everything, HDL, LDL was just a mess, as you would. Yeah. No diet, no exercise, no whatever. Put me on HRT, a lot of supplements and, just a whole protocol. And I think I lost 50 pounds in like 2 months, which I take to the extreme. So I don't know that you, but 50 pounds, 2 months, and then started working out at the gym. And, that's 7 years later. And I've never been in better shape in my life.
Now you're like super jacked, ready to go.
Oh yeah. I mean, just training at the gym. I mean, you do have to remind yourself you're 42. And like, I don't like, I think 3 years ago, I hit 405 on the bench and like,
oh, wow.
This is stupid. It's just stupid. Now you don't want to do that anymore. Like you get the recovery is not as much, but that kind of, I was really excited and passionate because I had this own health journey, but it quickly turned to anger. And it's probably something, I've seen 100 of you or 1,000 doctors just like yourself. All of you got into medicine for one thing, can help people. And in the traditional sense of where it is now, insurance reimbursement, the three P's, like the patient doesn't matter. Right. I mean, and they can't because you only have time. And I'm a guy, high net worth. I was happy that I had this access and I was getting this care, but then I got pissed off. Like, why isn't this mainstream for everyone? Like, because it should be. And again, we've had every celebrity client. I mean, we every big doctor in LA, New York. I mean, they were all customers of ours when I owned the pharmacy, and they still are. The companies, the pharmacy's still around. And that started a mission for me to try to go and, make a change. And I think that this type of healthcare should be for the masses. And we started a company and funded it called Live Health, LIV Health.
Okay.
And it's an integrative telemedicine company. Been on Dave Asprey's show. Suzanne Summers, talks about it. And we're offering, again, I've sold that company now, but they're offering, telemedicine, world-class care for a few $100 a month. Now,
is this similar to, or is probably in the same wheelhouse as Parsley Health?
Parsley's garbage, and I say that openly. It is, right? I mean, and they're actually getting out of the Parsley. I mean, they raise a ton of money, so they're very skilled.
Yeah, they're definitely VC backed. Yeah.
I don't want to discount them, but I don't want to discount their ability to raise money.
Yeah.
But they're getting out of the integrative space. I mean, now they're basically, it's like
primary care or something.
Primary care. Okay. And it's nice, and it's concierge, and they've got the cool centers in LA and New York, but it needs to be, in my opinion, and I think a lot, and probably your listeners will agree, this N of one, right? You need to treat the patient for what they are. And that is not cheap, and it's not easy, right? It takes time to go through and really understand that. So that's what we create.
Live Health is more of the customized experience.
Yeah. And the physicians are, and that they're more, when I built it, I didn't want to be in the doctor business. So the idea with the building of the platform was to make it easy. So the physicians have just easy schedules. They come on and have telechat. So the doctors that Live patients are talking to, if you were just to go to them by yourselves, you're probably spending $1,000 an hour. But because we made this onboarding and you got a concierge and all that thing, I really think we did a pretty good job at developing the platform. So it makes it easy, and you get great care and access to doctors that have been, AMMG, functional medicine, IFM, or that type of, accreditation.
Yeah. That's what I got when I did my functional medicine. It was through IFM.
Yeah. Which is phenomenal. So you get that, you get access to it, and the doctors are happy because they're getting customers they don't know through. So that's something I'm really proud of. I sold that business this year earlier, and they're growing. And
let me ask you this, Jeremy. So you're obviously, we'll talk about all the other entrepreneurial journeys, but in the medical space, I found that a lot of functional medicine doctors, integrative doctors, wellness doctors, they struggle. They don't have a good business model, and they've stepped out of the traditional thing. Either they're cash based or hybrid, or they're trying to do something tele like you're suggesting. Why do you think doctors suck at business?
Well, I think it's an age-old question, right? But no, I think in fairness,
I'm going to call my own people out. And the reason why I'm calling them out is because I want them to be successful. I really do. I think the more successful they are, the more people they can help.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's two things. One, in fairness to physicians, you're not taught it, right? You're taught everything: anatomy, physiology, drug to drug. You're taught pharmacology. You're taught all of those things, but then you just go out and then you hang a shingle and you become part of a network and you get licensed, or you're at a surgeon. So you have no, training on how to bring people to the door. That's one. Number two, most doctors, as I said, got into this to help people. Yes, it's risky, and you've got malpractice, you have insurance, so you have to make some money. But not all doctors got into it to be super wealthy. They want to help people. So they also, most of the time, undervalue themselves and their time. So they want to just do something, and they're scared to charge, or they're scared to ask for money and that. And then what I've seen so many of the physicians that go, and this is why they can't scale, why they leave private practice or leave insurance-based reimbursed world, and then come back into private practice and concierge. They give their cell phone number out to 100 patients. And then at 101, they're chained to their phone. So they can't really ever scale beyond that because they're not putting processes and systems in place. So I think those are the main reasons that they just can't get out of their own way. And sometimes I know you do some mentoring, some coaching. It's okay to ask. Like, you could be a phenomenal physician, but if you don't know something, like, there's someone out there that you could either hire or partner with, mentor to get that information and learn. It's a new skill you need to adopt. Yeah,
I agree. I just want to reiterate some of the things you talk about. Docs, when they get into the business, they're not taught business skills. So there's no business skills. They're taught the medicine's part of it. They want to help people. And so sometimes they undervalue themselves and their time. And the fact that, they know how to get more people just because the insurance companies, whatever, funnels them in. But outside of that, it's hard for them to scale and create the processes and business systems in place to take it to the next level. So yeah, I love that. That's great, man. So, you've done some healthcare businesses. You're a day trader when you grew up, and then, became this VC guy. What's your drive? I mean, I'm assuming it's not revenue anymore. I mean, of course, it's more of a spiritual game. Money is, and that is for me as well now. But what's sort of the impact you want to have?
So, great question. I think for me now, it's, a friend of mine made a comment. I'm in a marketing mastermind with him, and it was like so simple but profound. Like, Jeremy, you don't value what you know because you know it. And I'm like, you're right. And I think there becomes, when you start really having that realization. I mean, I think we chatted before we went on air. You started buying single family houses in Atlanta, and now you got, nearly $1 billion under management of assets, right? There was a learning curve there. you didn't just
absolutely
right.
My wife can attest to that.
Right. But now for you to take it from 700 to 1.5, it isn't going to require much for you, is it? Because you've got that muscle, right? Yes. So there's a lot of people that are still buying single families, right, in Atlanta. And what you went through, and to be able to share that, would save them so much time, aggravation, and what have you. So that's what I want to do is, I'm doing these podcasts. I'm kind of going out there. I'm getting this book out there. I want to be able to share, some of the successes, but mainly, I mean, the subtitle of my book is got failure highlighted in it, right? I mean, I want to change this misconception that failure is a bad thing when I think it's a great thing. It sucks sometimes and when you're going through it, but that's really where the lessons are learned. So I want to kind of really just, help make some impact that way and, tell my story, which is really a reflection that I'm not special, right? I mean, this memoir, I'll do a shameless book plug.
No. Guys, the book is jeremydelk.com. I'm assuming you can buy it there. You probably can buy it on Amazon as well.
Yeah, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all that. November 8th, it goes.
So go ahead and pre-order this thing. It's called Without a Plan. And then what's the subtitle, Jeremy?
A memoir of unbound action and failing my way to success.
Unbound action and failing your way to success, guys. Look, this guy's one of the most successful guys, both on the Wall Street and as well as just in real life with all the various companies, and he's done it in several industries, right? I think we off camera we're talking about building that beautiful boutique hotel in the Virgin Islands. I mean, from Virgin Islands to regenerative medicine to day trading to telemedicine company. It's his mindset. What we're learning from him, guys, pay attention here. Really, please be present here. He thinks in a different way, and once he's understanding there's a pattern in business. And once he understands a pattern, he implements in whatever he takes on, and he's done enough things to where he's fallen enough times to where he knows the typical pitfalls, the blind spots most entrepreneurs have, and now people want to bring them into their companies. They probably give them equity. Hey, take my business from, 7 to 8 figures, or take it from 8 to 9 figures, or whatever. So these are the things. And so mentors, coaches, books, courses, what they do is they time collapse. And you take, he has 40, almost 50 years of experience. He's time collapsed into like probably a 200, 300 page book. Read it, consume it, learn it, and then apply it, right? He added with, was it unbound action, right? Was it?
Yeah.
Action is the key, right?
Absolutely. I mean, how many doctors have you coached and talked to that which I've got this great idea, but then, oh, cool. And then you talk to him a month later. Yeah. And I'm really still thinking about this idea. A buddy of mine, Steve Sims, what's he say? Like, get going, then get good. Like, you're going to be at whatever you do the first time. Just do it, because you don't know. I mean, could anyone, that's why I think planning is, the title of the book's Without a Plan, and I'm demonstrating it in all these businesses. I didn't know how to build it. The fourth fastest growing healthcare company in the US. I didn't know how to. I didn't have a plan to do that. We didn't have a plan to collaborate with Harvard and do all this, what we're doing with epigenetics. We had an idea and a direction, but we just got started and got through. Now, again, I'm a bit more brazen and maybe a little bit masochistic to just go blindly into some things. But if you are doing things for the right reason, just get started and don't worry about failure. I try to break things. I try to go through and then you learn from it and just improve. That's what it's really about. And focus on your core why. I think that's the other piece. Like, why are you doing it? And are you happy? Because from a guy that's had a little bit of money, it's great utility and it provides a lot. I don't want to discount money, but it isn't everything, right? You have to be in love and passionate with what you're doing. And for me, you hit the nail on the head. I've been successful in other industries because business is business. And I can be industry agnostic because at whatever value chain you're looking at, B2B, B2C, wherever, people buy from people. And as long as you understand that and you're trying to add as much value as possible, most times you'll win, right? And if the market's ready for it, whatever, and there's other, undetermining factors that, may not be there, but that's okay. Then you learn and then move on, but just keep moving forward is the overarching theme.
That's awesome, man. Hey, I want to ask you one thing. When you join these companies or when you start these companies or when you're looking for a company to partner or be part of, I'm assuming you're like a visionary. How important is it to have like sort of a right hand or sort of an integrator or sort of like a COO in that company already, or do you bring that piece to it as well?
Well, it's crucial. And I definitely am. I'm the details guy. I'm not like, I would rather kill myself. Like, I just can't, I don't know how we're going to get there, but I'll show us how to get there. Like, there's a passage from my book. It's from Reid Hoffman. It's like, like the opening. An entrepreneur is someone who jumps off a cliff and builds a plane on the way down. Like, that's me. Right.
That's a great quote.
But that's important, right? I think especially for your audience as physicians, like no entrepreneur, Bezos, Musk, no, any of the Jobs, any of these massive jobs had Wozniak, right? You cannot, I don't care who you are, be everything. So accept that. Know what you are really good at. Most of the time, it's what you really like, which is great. And then just do that better than anyone. Then most importantly, figure out what you suck at and don't like to do, and then find them, either hire them as an employee or a partner or consultant or coach, whatever, and get that. But building a team, I couldn't have done anything without the team, right? I mean, it's the team that I've had and been lucky to have around me through several businesses in different industries is what makes it all happen. They take your vision and your ideas and bring it to life. So you got to be a team player and show that love too, right? You gotta let them know that it's a team sport. There's no I.
That's awesome, man. I know a true entrepreneur can thrive no matter what economic season. Are you worried at all about the season that's coming up?
No, I mean, I think I'm more maybe excited about it. I think, these things bring opportunities, right? I don't understand it. As I was at a dinner party last night, I mean, I've been through some cycles. I still don't understand it, right? How it still hasn't corrected yet. Rates. I mean, housing is, real estate more, but housing's slowing, but it's not there. It's not 2008. I don't think 2008 happens again. Yeah. It's odd with that and COVID. I mean, we're looking at trying to maybe do a lake house or something. And actually down in Lake Oaken, like down in Georgia. I mean, our house, it was 1.9, 18 months ago. Like, but then you're like, is that going to collapse? No, because majority of it are people live in Buckhead, 2 hours away. Like that set of the comment, I don't know, but crypto, and NFT, that's kind of craft. I don't have it figured out, but I know there will be opportunities in some, in some sectors. So that's,
and your antennas are aware. Boom.
Absolutely. Yes.
Guys, that's the message I want to leave with you guys. He's excited about what's coming versus being in fear, because really these are the times where the next generation transfer generational wealth happens. This is where the next millionaires are made. So get the book Without a Plan, go to his website, get into his ecosystem, get into his universe. But thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for dropping your wisdom on us, to the Limitless tribe. And guys, until next time, be phenomenal. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Limitless MD. If you found value from this episode, I encourage you to share this episode with a friend and let me know by leaving a review. For more information, make sure you check out the links in the show notes below or simply visit vikramraya.com. So until next time, my friends, be phenomenal.